and we're recording. So what do we say? Welcome to Priest Adventures. It's the first video. And, oh, hang on. It's an ALLTRAILS review. So we do hikes about every weekend. And we've noticed that the ALLTRAILS tends to lie a little bit about their moderate or mild and for their mileage. So figured we'd start recording it and seeing what it is. Right now we're at the Cartecay River Loop trail. It's a Rich Mountain WMA in Ellijay, Georgia. It says that it's a moderate trail. We've been on this a couple of times and it is a pretty good trail. It claims to be 3.4 miles, so we'll see about that. So I'm going to start right now. And we've started. And there's bear all over this place. Last time we were here, there was bear scat about every 20 to 30 yards. But it's got a nice view of the river. Pretty good rapids. We've had a lot of rain the last few days. So it's pretty high. Maybe it may be slick water by the time we get down here to it, but it could be some seriously good rapids. The last time we were here, we actually panned a little bit. Got with the DNR to see if it could be panned, and they said they didn't see any reason why it couldn't. So there was nothing in the regs saying that you couldn't pan. So that also made it to where there was nothing in the regs where you could. So we kind of hit that gray area there. Found a few little just gold dust pieces. Nothing major. But we were only out here for about an hour or so whenever we did it. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see a bear. You never know. But welcome. And I can't say follow me. That's Jacob the carpetbagger's deal. But let's see what today brings. And if you look behind me, we're on a road where they come through and mow, and now we've hit the part of the loop. So this over here is where we're going to come back to. It's kind of overgrown a little bit, but it's pretty wide and open. Sorry, winded. I'm old. Just went up a hill. You think I'd be used to it by now? And hiking in Georgia in July. It's what, 10 a.m. I think maybe 11. It's already like 80 degrees, 90% humidity. Absolutely sucks. I don't know why we do this, but we do. We got a group of walkers in front of us with a dog, so that should keep the bears away. I'm trying to find some scat. Another hill. We'll come into woods here in a little while. The fun perks of hiking in Georgia is this little guy, if you can see him. That little guy right there. is right there, the Copperhead. Yeah. Super fun perks of hiking in the summer in Georgia. But, you know, you kind of take it with a grain of salt. We're going to leave him alone. We'll let him go his own way. As you can see, it stays pretty wide through the beginning of this, which is not bad. You get the breezes, but it stays pretty wide for the beginning. You get the breezes. It's pretty good. But you're out in the sun, and you know it gets pretty hot. That's just a part of it. By the time this is all done and I've finished my hike, I have to change a shirt. It's stays pretty warm. The DNR likes to put these enclosures up just to show you what it would look like if, like the food plot here where the animals are grazing, that how much use it's getting compared to if they can't get to it. So it just shows how much they're grazing, how much they're keeping it down. It's just for study. You'll see them all over the place up here. That's just how they keep record of it. And they'll have them in different spots. They'll have 4 or 5 of them around. And it's pretty neat just to see how much impact deer or rabbits or anything that grazes on this property. So it just makes for an interesting read while you're walking. All right, we've gone almost a mile, 0.8 of a mile for ALLTRAILS, and the open field is closing in to the woods, so it gets a little more shaded, so it's a little cooler in that way, but the wind gets knocked down a bit. Still, it's probably about 80 degrees. We're not even 30 minutes in. We've been kind of taking our time. And we'll pick up where, oh yeah, this trail is marked by the blue marks right there. But it's just a loop. It's not a hard one to follow. You don't have to worry about the map too much. It's well beaten down. And that's that. Now we go uphill again. One thing that we figured out really quick our first time on this trail was we were in dire need of bear spray. We've hiked all over North Georgia and North Carolina, mainly aiming for waterfalls, which if you stay on this channel, chances are you're going to see a lot of waterfalls, because my wife likes waterfalls. So she likes to have a treat at the end of a hike. There's nothing wrong with that. It's always fun. North Carolina's real interesting. Got a blowdown. North Carolina's really interesting in their waterfalls. See, nobody's come through and cleaned up the trail in a little bit, but that's always the fun. You never know what you're going to walk into. But yeah, bear scat was everywhere. We immediately left after the hike, went straight to Academy, added bear spray to the bag, and my wife normally walks behind me so she can get to it, and it never hurt to have a little bit of help with arms. If it's allowed in the area, you need to check and make sure. The DNR is really particular about that stuff. They can put a hurting on you financially, as well as could confiscate the weapon, could, you know, and if you fire it in here, you might spend a day in jail. You never know. And I am sweating. Oh, another thing you need to have in Georgia. It's a dry fit hanky. These things are wonders. Keeps the sweat from getting on my glasses. One thing about Georgia in this heat is hydrate. We like the big smart water bottles. We just get one and then refill it in the fridge and keep it in the fridge to keep it cold. My wife likes to freeze hers so it melts as we're walking. But the trick is the cap. The smart water bottles and the Essentia water, if I'm saying that right, they allow the Sawyer Squeeze Mini to screw right on top of it. So we like to keep the the liter, whatever that is, 1 liter bottle. If anything should happen and we end up in a pinch, we can reach a creek, and I have the bag to be able to squeeze it into the bottle if I want to, or you can screw it straight on top of the bottle and just shoot it right in your mouth. We've been on hikes at the very beginning that we didn't carry enough water, and thankfully one of them, which we will do at a later time, is the House of Dreams at Berry College in Rome. Beautiful place, but it's all uphill and it's all gravel and it's all in the sun. Luckily at the top they have a bathroom and a water fountain, because we ran out of water about halfway up. We were hurting, but the top of it, the views, and they have swings. So if you just watch us, keep up with us, like, share, subscribe. Can't believe I'm saying that. I've watched every YouTuber I've ever seen say that for years, and I can't believe I just said it. So yeah, this is surreal. Now we're going downhill, so I'm having to watch where I step. But the Sawyer Squeeze screws right on top of it. A friend of mine at work that is big into hiking turned me on to that, and it has saved my butt a couple of times. I always carry it. I always carry a way of making fire in case something happens, a small first aid kit, and a hammock. We have a double hammock in my bag. Every one of our hiking bags, every one of our day bags has a hammock. So somewhere along the trail, if we choose to, we can take a break. Or if somebody should get hurt, it's a place where you can kind of lay up and send somebody else for help. A lot of these places that we hike are pretty remote. We're not a huge fan of doing heavy trafficked areas, but we will. One of them being Pine Mountain in Cartersville. and that'll be coming up also. We just did it last weekend, so we didn't want to do it again. Now I need to pay attention to what I'm doing, but if you listen, that's the Cartecay River. And there's a spot here in Ellijay where you can tube it. It's a Cartecay River experience. Awesome place to go. Very well priced. Did it once in my 30s and decided for my 40th birthday, I paid for everybody in the family to go. Funny thing is my wife and the girls don't like moving water, so let's just say it was fun for me. And it was hilarious, but it wasn't for them. They didn't enjoy it as much. The waterfall at the end is a lot of fun, the slide. So, but yep, I'm gonna stop this thing, pay attention to what I'm doing, because I'm holding a bottle of water and not my trekking pole. So this is the Cartecay. There's some people over off to the left that are sitting for some food. But this is the sandbar that we came out to do some panning. Actually found a little bit of gold over between the rocks over there. You hit bedrock pretty quick. And the river is up and muddy. Normally it's crystal clear. Good for trout. It's a walk to get down here to it, and yes, it is cold. Between that and we step back up in here, this is a good spot to camp. They do allow camping here. You got your fire ring and a nice little kind of shrouded cove looking area. You could throw a tent, throw a hammock. We've thrown a hammock up in there, and it's off the main trail, so people don't tend to bother you. So yeah, a nice little place. Now the good thing about this trail is it has plenty of places to kind of step off and get a view of the river. You're walking in some pretty heavy woods until you just kind of come up on something like this. It is relaxing. It's hot, but it is relaxing. And then you end up around old growth trees like that. That thing is massive. And they're just all up and down the river here. It's all over the place, all along the other side. There was a group of people upriver. Had a couple of dogs, was throwing sticks in, letting them swim. So it's always good to see more people out here. It's literally minutes from downtown Ellijay. It's not far. It's not far at all. So you get a little more people on this trail than what we're usually normal to experience. So, and to give a little history, we started hiking about 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago, and recording it on ALLTRAILS just to keep up with what we've done. For one thing, it was to get outside, to get a little healthier, lose a little bit of weight, and we figured out we enjoy it, especially whenever you've gotten done and get that little sense of accomplishment. You've done something. ALLTRAILS says high five, good job. Get that little dopamine kick. And it could be worse. We could be on drugs. I mean, that'd be an easy route. Why not? let's just work for it. That's what we're doing. And yeah, first episode, new time with a camera. Bear with me. I do photography on the side as a hobby, and I've taken some, you know, senior pictures, done a wedding, stuff like that. I think in further hikes I'll start carrying my camera again. I kind of got out of it, but I'll start carrying it again and maybe do some shots from the trail. Maybe figure out how to edit them in. Nice little. Always sounds good on a waterfall. I don't know if this mic is picking it up, but you're gonna figure out that I've got an odd sense of humor. It can come out kind of weird sometimes, so bear with. Hopefully you kind of got the same one. And if you're my brother watching this, then you know. But we're gonna get back on this trail again. We're not trying to beat a speed record or anything on it, but I do want to keep to the trail just to make sure ALLTRAILS has got it down on their mileage. So we'll see. Now hiking this rich mountain, you do have a couple little small creek crossings. It's not anything major. We'll run into that when we get into like North Carolina. There's one waterfall up there that's got a couple of creek crossings, but it's pretty. It almost feels prehistoric. That's what I always get the feeling of being in these woods. And although we're sweating like a devil, we're loving it. Now we're going uphill out of the river bottom. I get winded, but I'd rather go uphill than downhill. Downhill wears out my shins. Me being old, either way, it'll take the wind out of you. Pretty good climb out. Not doing very many switchbacks or anything like that. Okay, we're kind of topping out on the mountain here. I know. It's Georgia. They're you know, our mountains are not like the Rockies or some of the other ones that are out there, but they're ours. Funny thing is, a couple weeks ago we were at Nakalula Falls for a camping and hiking weekend, and they have a pool. So we were swimming and hanging out. I ran into a couple, and they said that they were from Biloxi, and they like coming up there to Gadsden to see the mountains. There's no mountain. You drive up a hill to the campsite, that's about it. But I guess if you live in Biloxi, it is what it is. So we should be coming up on back to our original track here pretty shortly. But then you get into these from the river bottom. It's kind of almost looks like planted pine. They're not in perfect rows, but it's almost symmetrical. Let's in a little more light. Well, we are getting towards the end of the trail, and bear scat. Just a little bit. You can see the berries in it. It is fresh, so we're keeping an eye out. Okay, we're coming up on the end of the loop. You can always tell it by the tree right here. It's where it splits. And that is our track back onto the loop. Now we're repeating our approach. We're back on gravel road. Okay, just finished the Cartecay River Loop trail in Ellijay at Rich Mountain, WMA. They have it marked as a 3.4 mile. We actually did it in 3.8, so they're a little off there. We didn't take very many trips off trail, just wanted to try to stay with it. Yeah, 3.4. I find that, I don't know if it's different GPSs, it tends to follow the route of the first person that took that trail. So if you're the first one on it, I don't know if the GPS is a little different on your phone compared to, you know, what mine is. Mine's a S10 Plus, it's an older phone. So we did it in 3.8 miles at a time of 1 hour 47 minutes. Sometimes we're taking a few little breaks. Please just don't worry about the sound in the background. The guy started a blower up as soon as we walked up to the car. A couple of reviews on it. One of the bad reviews gave it a 1 star. It's a Christina Bots. Says we were close by and wanted to walk along the river. From the reviews, that is what I thought this trail was, but it definitely is not. You have to have a land pass, like I talked about earlier, and it's property used for hunting, which I don't mind in general. I just don't want to be hiking while people are trying to hunt. So, you know when hunting times are. Don't come out here whenever it's deer hunting. You know, if you do, wear blaze orange. You know, wear something reflective. But also be mindful of hunters. They're out here trying to do their thing, and if you're tromping through it with your human scent, it's going to run the deer off anyway. In the summer, you're not going to see anybody. And then I got a 5-star review from Susan Williams. Says, great hike, trail is well marked, except do not take the first right down the clay road. If you take the trail to the right and you do it counterclockwise, there is another trail that kicks off to the right. So don't go down that trail. Just follow the map. We went an extra half mile off the trail, so our total was 5 hours. The rocks by the river were stunning for a great view and a cool dip for the pup. That it's definitely animal friendly down through here. There was a lot of people with their dogs. All in all, it's a great trail. I would rate it right at moderate. It does have some inclines, it has some declines, but it has some cool views. There are good places to set off to the side and stick your feet in the water if you want to. Well, that being said, we finished it. Follow us on our next adventure. Thanks.